If you're watching my videos because you sincerely want a serious girlfriend or even a wife, you have my utmost respect and support. Because while learning game is a reward in itself, and hookups can be very, very fun, there are a few things more satisfying, rewarding, and maybe even important in life than having really good, close female relationships, especially if one day you want a family and kids. But I've got some bad news for you. Unfortunately, one of the worst ways to get into a serious relationship is to go out seeking a serious relationship. I'm gonna explain to you in just a minute why that's the case, and then I'm gonna show you step by step exactly how to get into an amazing relationship, the do's and the don'ts. So before we dive right into finding you the woman of your dreams, very quickly, if you're new to this channel, my name's Todd. I've been a dating coach for over 20 years, and in that time, I've helped literally thousands of men meet not only girlfriends and wives, but the girlfriends and wives they want to be with, the women of their dreams, quite literally. And in all my years as a dating coach, one of the most common questions I get asked is, how do I find a girlfriend? Now, this typically comes from one of two types of guys. The first type of guy who asks this question is the guy who's not currently having a lot of success with dating and women, but he doesn't want to be a player. He doesn't want to meet a lot of women. He doesn't want to learn a lot of pickup lines. He doesn't want to learn a lot of game and meet a lot of women along the way. He just wants to meet that one special girl, get into the game, get out of the game, and go have a girlfriend or be married. And while that is very respectable, unfortunately it doesn't work that way, because the way to meet the woman of your dreams is very similar to the way to meet every other woman. Fact of the matter is, although you may think a certain girl is special, she's 99% plus genetically similar to every other girl, and the same things that are attractive to her are attractive to them, and vice versa. So if you learn how to be attractive to women in general, you'll be able to attract your dream girl. If you do not learn how to be attractive to women in general, and then you meet that girl who's perfect and right for you, she's probably going to overlook you, not be attracted to you, and you're gonna miss your opportunity. As with everything else in life, being an attractive man requires practice. Assuming that you're just gonna step up to the plate when you meet your dream girl is like assuming you're gonna hit a home run in the World Series if you've never picked up a baseball bat before. It's simply not going to happen. And even putting skill aside, let's say you already somehow were good with girls, you just got out of a relationship, and now you wanna just go meet that one girl and settle into a new relationship. There's one other huge problem with this, and that is that one of the most unattractive things you can be to a woman is needy. If you're coming from a place of scarcity, if you talk to a woman and you absolutely need her because you have no other options and you're relying on her to make your life okay, that's incredibly unattractive. Most of the guys I know who meet the woman of their dreams are actually actively dating and have lots of alternatives and lots of amazing girls in their life, and then they meet one who stands out. But at that time, they have other options. They're not needy. They're not like, oh my God, if I don't get this one girl, it'll ruin my life. And that very lack of neediness, that very abundance mentality makes them more attractive to that girl they eventually decide to settle down with. And finally, if you go in with too much of a tunnel focus on I want a girlfriend, I want a serious relationship, and it comes across that way, that can come across as needy or pushy or too much too fast for the girl as well. So there are so many reasons why going directly with like, I just want to meet that one girlfriend really is shooting yourself in the foot. So in short, based on 20 years of experience, that approach of I just want to meet the one simply doesn't work. What does work is working on yourself, learning game, and then dating women who you think might be the one until you find the one who actually is. The second type of guy who will ask me this question is the guy who on paper is doing well with girls, but just is not happy with the girls that he's meeting. Perhaps he's meeting a lot of girls that are kind of cute, but not as hot as he would like. Or maybe he's meeting some really hot girls, but he doesn't find that they're compatible with him. He doesn't want to keep them around for the long term because they don't have a lot in common or because it's just sex and nothing more. In particular, a lot of guys in the second category are guys who have succeeded through online dating and they're getting an abundance of dates and they have an active sex life, but they're just not thrilled about the girls they're meeting. So what should guy number 2 do? Ironically, he should do the thing that's messing up guy number 1. Guy number 1 needs to have some success with women in general before he's ready for this step, but guy number 2 is ready. What guy number 2 needs to do is he needs to actually get more selective, and he needs to unlearn a few of the things that are holding him back. If you're one of these guys, guy number 2, the first step for you is to just cut out the bottom, say 25 to 33% of girls that you are approaching. Go after only the ones that really excite you. And yes, it'll mean you'll have to grow as a man and up your game a bit, so it's not a comfortable step, but it's a necessary one. If you're this guy, you've already been through the process of getting good at game in the first place, and you recall that it wasn't always easy. you'll recall that there was a time when you couldn't get as many numbers, girls weren't as into you, and you had to go through some rejections, you had to go through some pain in the process. What you need to do is be man enough to accept a little bit of that back. Understand it's better for the soul to be rejected by the girl you really want than to spend a bunch of time wasting it with a girl that you know there's no future with. And one more harsh truth. If you're a guy who has relied exclusively on online dating for your dating life, maybe you do need to go offline and approach some of those intimidating girls in real life. So those are the first couple steps you'll need to do if you're this guy. The next thing you'll need to do though is you're going to actually need to up your game. And I'll go into it briefly here, but I want to refer you to the rest of my channel where I've covered these things in far more depth. The next thing you'll need to learn to do is you need to learn to be a little more polarizing. If you go in and you just let a girl get to know you, and you are on sort of the same social and physical attractiveness level as her, then you can actually do pretty well with just being comfortable and doing get to know you conversation. But for those girls that are quote unquote out of your league, you're going to need to do something to get on their radar. Once they like you, once you have their attention, you can do all the same things that made you attractive to the girls you're already attractive to. A 10 who's into you acts the same way as an 8 who's into you will. But getting her into you can be a different process because she has so many more options. You need to get on her radar, which means you need to be more polarizing. The final thing you'll need to work on to improve the caliber of girls you're getting in your life is you're going to need to get rid of some of your leveling behaviors. You probably have some habits in your game that have worked for you up to now that you do need to get rid of. And you probably know what these are. They're probably the soft moves, the gimmicky moves, the moves that when you do them, your brain kind of shuts off and the intensity of the conversation comes down. In any case, I have a lot of videos on the concept of leveling. Go check them out. It's a complicated concept, but that's the final thing you're going to need to do to up the caliber of girl you're getting. But in this video, we're not just talking about sex, we're talking about girlfriends. So there's one other very important wrinkle, which is compatibility. We're not just looking for girls that we have good sex with, we're looking for girls that we enjoy time with in the long term, potentially girls that are aligned with us to such a degree that we could potentially get married or even have kids with them. The first step in finding the girl you're looking for in terms of compatibility is to actually stop and think what that is. A lot of guys have never done this. They just think, oh, that girl looks hot, I'll approach her. Oh, that girl looks hot, I'll approach her. They don't think about, does this girl believe the same things I believe? Is this girl educated? Is this girl going to be fun and interesting in conversation? Do we have some activities that we'll enjoy together other than just the bedroom? So I'm going to give you a little homework assignment. I want you to list out for yourself 5 non-physical things that your ideal woman would have. All right, we're not talking how she looks, we're not talking how her tan is, how in shape she is, although if she goes to the gym, that could be part of it because that shows character. We're talking about things that you cannot necessarily see at a glance that are going to make this girl a better fit for you. Now that may sound like an obvious step to you, but don't worry, we're going to use this list for very practical reasons. First thing I want you to do, once you have this avatar of your ideal woman, the picture in your head of who she would be, the next step is ask yourself, where would this girl go? If she's very fit, maybe go to the gym. Maybe look at sports leagues or places that people are playing sports or doing fitness related things. If she's very educated, maybe check out grad schools or professions where there's a lot of education necessary for that profession. If she's very wealthy, maybe put in the time and effort to get into high-end exclusive events where those type of women can be found. The point is, with whatever type of woman you're looking for, if you fish where the fish are, you'll do a better job than if you're just fishing in the population of women at large. In particular, please don't go to the place where your type of woman explicitly isn't. If you want a woman who has wholesome family values, don't meet her at the strip club. It actually turns out that this era is a particularly good one for meeting the women you're looking for through this method because a lot of dating is shifting from bars and online dating to more meetup events. Things like running clubs or social groups, that sort of thing is becoming more and more prevalent. So it's actually becoming easier to meet girls you have more in common with. The second thing you're going to do with this list we've created, once you've already found a pool of girls to talk to, is you're going to actually do what we call screen them. You're going to check and find out if these girls are the thing you're looking for. Does the girl like to travel? Well, ask her about it, or better yet, challenge her on it. Is the girl adventurous and spontaneous? Maybe tell a girl some stories about you being adventurous and spontaneous and get her to follow suit. Screening like this is incredibly powerful for 2 reasons. Number 1, you are actually identifying the things you're looking for in the girl. And by virtue of that, you're actually going to be engaged in the conversation. It's going to be more interesting for you. You're going to be more present in it. But also the very act of screening, the very fact that you have standards you're looking for and you are asking the girls to meet those standards reverses the normal dating dynamic. The normal dating dynamic is that the girl is on a pedestal and the guy is chasing and hoping she'll like him. As soon as you're screening the girl, as soon as you have standards, you're reversing that dynamic. Now she needs to impress you. And girls really value guys who are not easy to get, guys who make them chase, guys who have standards, guys who show the abundance and willingness to walk away. So screening is so powerful, not only for finding the girl, but also for attracting her. So 2 final pieces of advice for everyone. First of all, if you want a relationship, realize that relationships go over a long period of time. It's not just about what you promise to the girl, it's about delivering for the girl. So not only should you work on your game, which you absolutely should and must, you also should work on yourself, because you are going to be spending time with the girl as yourself, and your true self is going to come out. If you are passionate about things in life, that's more attractive. If you are making yourself more successful, that presents a more successful lifestyle. The more you can make yourself an actually high value guy in practice, as opposed to just a guy who's high value in presentation, the better off you're going to be. And finally, you need to realize that the way to meet the one is to become attractive to women in general. Until then, you can find the one all you want. She's not going to be interested in you. She's not going to want anything to do with you. Once you're attractive in general, now you can pick and choose the one, and you can screen to find who you really, really like. And a final tip from personal experience: when I was young, I had in my mind a vision of what I thought the one is, and I dated her. And I realized there were some things I liked and some I didn't. And then I dated another girl who I thought was my perfect ideal girl, and there were some things I liked and some I didn't. And eventually, the more I dated, the more I honed in on exactly what I like, and then I found the girl who is truly compatible for me. If you settle for the first girl that will have you, it probably won't be the best girl for you, and it probably won't be a healthy relationship, because you'll be coming into it from a position of neediness. You need to understand female psychology, you need to learn how to flirt, you need to kind of know the dance that occurs between a man and a woman when they're getting to know each other. Until you have that down, you can meet the one all you want, she's not going to want to have anything to do with you. If you want to learn how to be attracted to women in general, subscribe to the channel. That's literally all I do here. Thanks for being here. See you on the next one.